interactive colors on a website mean the colors that when you click on it, it does something. So in this website, I'm helping the owner improve it for usability. And what I identified was that even though this color orange, which I love, I think it's a really great color, but the color is being used too much. Not only is it being used as an interactive color, so the Book Now button, but it's also here in some of the titles, such as About Me. But obviously, when you click on that, it does nothing. But here's one where you do click and it does something. But here's one where you click and it does nothing. Um, this is a little bit confusing as well because they're hover overs. So it doesn't really do much unless you hover over it. But I think you get the point. This is a heading, it does nothing. The timeline does nothing. But then there's an interactive button here. So the idea of interactive colors on a website is that only when you use that color, you only use it for elements that are interactive. All right. So here's the brand. Eye of the Tiger. Really cool branding. I didn't actually do this one. But to stay within the guidelines of the brand, what I'm going to do is open up this color here. Sorry, this there's other tools that you can use for this, but as I've talked about before, I use Photoshop. But if you don't use Photoshop, you can always use a free Photoshop alternative. Just look on Google for free Photoshop alternative. So I'm going to get the eyedropper tool. I'll just use my shortcut and press I because there's a gradient in here. There's a couple of different greens going on. So first of all, I'll just bring this in so you can see it. I'll choose the lighter shade of green first, and I'll just make a note in my notepad. I'll just make some notes here that I'll go Eye of the Tiger branding and branding, and we'll go green light, and that's a hex color, but I won't. Usually you put a hash before a hex to denote that it's a hex color, but I know what it is, so I'm not going to type that in. And then I'm just going to get the darker green as well over here and grab the hex code for that one, and again put it into my notes, dark green, and we'll use that as the basis for the interactive colors on the website. Okay, so again, look, there's other tools that you can do that with. Like I could have used another tool, for instance, which I own, called it's just what I'm familiar with, but this will actually do. I'm pretty sure it will do eyedropper tool. Yeah, there it is. Color eyedropper. Pick colors from anywhere on the page, even images and iframes. So this is a really cool extension. I'll talk about that in another lesson, but this is just about color interaction. All right. And so what I will do now is I'll go through the website and I'm going to update all the interactive things to be green, and I'll leave all the other branding on there as orange. All right. All right. So I can see that this is a little bit more complicated to change the colors. For most of my students, I want to teach them how to use no code websites like Astra or things like this, but the whoever designed this, they've gone with a free theme, which I don't usually recommend, but at least what they did was they created a child theme, which I do recommend. It's always good to have a child theme because then when you update the parent theme, you keep the settings for the child theme. And I note that they've got, now I realize, because I was doing some CSS before using the CSS in the customizer, but now I see they've got the CSS here under theme editor under appearance. So before I change anything, I'll just copy all the old settings just in case we need to revert, and I'll just call this old CSS orange color, right? And I'll put the old CSS there. But now, and this requires a little bit of knowledge of CSS to understand what we're looking at. So I'm just going to cover this very briefly, and I'm just going to point out that A, that means a link, and then B, they've pointed out with the note section, like this isn't part of the code when you do the dash and the stars. So this is just information for other people coming in, so they can see quickly, oh, this refers to the buttons, and I can see the background color for the buttons is that color, and then as you can see over here, but the background colors for the buttons when it's on hover is that color. All right, now that's as much as I'm going to show you of CSS, because I don't want this to be over technical, but I just wanted to kind of point out that's what goes on in the background when you do no code design anyway, like the software's writing this code for you. Anyway, I'm going to update this and in a minute show you what that looks like. All right, now even though I've updated the CSS, it didn't change hardly anything. So that indicates to me that some of that CSS is old and not in use. And it looks like we're going to have to go through and update things manually. I'm almost tempted to swap themes at this point, because if I swap themes, say if I used Astra or a number of other professional themes that I use, I could change, oh no, here we go. It has changed the color. There we go, there's green. Well, that's partly done. And then we come, okay, so it must have just been flushed out from the cache. Okay, so we're a little bit closer there. Let's have a look if we can see that green on the front end as well. No, we're still not seeing it on the front end. What I'm going to do now, I don't want to empty my browser cache because that will log me out. So I'm just going to go into a different, browser now and see what it looks like on that. Yeah, there it is. And it's got to do with my browser cache, why I can't see that green. And as you can see, I've put in an active color, the light green, and then the hover color, that dark green. And that should appear on most of the internal elements now. But we want to go further and even note down here where the website design by, as I said, I didn't design this one, it's by someone else, but even that link in the footer is changed now because of that CSS. But it's still my job to go through. Now I've got to try and work out where that header is built. So maybe you'd like to watch that very quickly, how I try and work that out. All right, so usually if you're building a website from scratch, you don't need to do this detective work, but then again, just showing you this helps you understand how websites work anyway. The first thing I need to do is work out what theme is in use. So I come down here to appearance themes, and as I pointed out, there's a child theme, but all that child theme does is it calls its parent theme here is Hello Elementor. You can tell that straight away because it's 2021 is the generic theme of WordPress. They've got 2020, 2019, 2018. Every year they bring out a new theme. But this would be, because they use Elementor on this website, they've used this basic free Hello Elementor theme, which calls up, as you can see, this is a child theme of Hello Elementor. So to understand Hello Elementor, what I would do, this is my way of doing it, I just want to go header builder, because it's some sort of header builder for that theme, I'm almost sure. Hello header and footer customization in Elementor. So that's what I'm looking for. We want to update the header and footer, and we just want to find the settings. So header and footer will be found under your site settings. For more information about global site settings, click here. Ah, now I understand. All right, that makes sense. So here we're on the home page, as you know, and we're editing with Elementor. So it seems that all the settings are under the site settings for Elementor. So this hamburger menu over here, and we press site settings. And here we've got global colors, global fonts, and here we've got the buttons. So let's fix up the buttons for a start. Normal buttons, the text color should be white. And I just want to make sure they've got the right accents in here. So the green color, actually, I'll go back a step. We'll go back to the global colors. And I want to make sure that the accent and the darker color are the same. There's no actual reason to have that one that doesn't look right. I don't like that shade. So I'm just going to update that green, which is, as you saw before, I color sampled that from the logo. This can be exactly the same, just in case it's in use throughout the website. I don't want to delete that and have it come up with some other weird color. So I'll just leave it there for now. And then the dark green, we will add that color. All right. And then we'll go back and we'll go back to the buttons. And the text color is white. The background color will be that accent. Or actually, I need to press update for those color settings to take that I just put into the global colors. So I'll update and I'll refresh the screen, and then we'll go back to the site settings and try and get those universal colors in there for the buttons. And then that might even fix up the header without me even having to look for it. We'll soon find out anyway. So again, we'll go to the site settings and we'll go to the buttons, and we'll go to the background color is the accent color, and the hover color, again, the text will be white and the background color will be dark green. Now I'm not seeing that update over here in the header, so I probably will have to do that. But at least we've got our global settings in there as well. I should also try and put in that same font there on that button. Let's see if we can do that from here, because I don't like that little thin button here when you've got that big thick button up here. So what is this font? Okay, without doing too much rocket science, I'm just going to use, I haven't shown you this before, but when you do a right click on a website, you can inspect the code, and this is the quickest way for us to just see what font is in use there. This is all the confusing code behind the scenes in the website. Gosh, look at all those scripts. There are a lot of scripts going on. I'm just going to right click that one more time. So I'm really highlighting that. And now I can see what the font is. If I scroll down through the CSS, I can see it's actually a font called Titilium Web. All right. And it's sans serif. It's uppercase. And that's about all I can tell from it. I was hoping I would see the font weight somewhere as well. Titilium, uppercase. It's not showing me the font weight, but I can tell just by looking at it that that's about 700. So let's go into our typography and we'll put in Titilium Web as the font. And the weight will be, let's make it 700. And the transform will be uppercase, and update that. Now I note that that hasn't updated. It could have been overridden somewhere, or again, it could be our browser cache. Not sure, but at least that's a start. But I've still got to work out about this header color. So let's go back here and look at this. Locating the settings, blah, blah, blah. Site header customization. So There we go, site header. Okay, the header and footer cut will be found under the site settings. So there's the header and footer there. So let's go back to Elementor, back to our site settings, and it says that, now I'm not seeing header and footer there. And this could be because this is the free version of Elementor and not the professional one, which you need to pay for every year. So again, it's really pushing me towards wanting to swap this theme to a professional theme, but that's a little bit of work, and I would rather actually understand how the current website works before I go swapping around stuff too much. I'll just make sure I haven't missed something. Site settings, and I can see this is the global colors, global fonts, and there is the header and footer under theme style. Theme style, we don't have header and footer, and again, I'm assuming that's because this is the free version. So we've already updated the buttons. I think that's probably as much as we can do there. I'll put the video on pause while I do a bit more homework and try and really understand where this header and footer is coming from. All right, sorry. I actually found what it was by clicking around, and also because I know how Elementor Pro works, even though I don't personally use it. So again, we need to log into this homepage with Elementor, and it wasn't in that section indicated here, but we were close. I'll show you. I'll show you where it was. So we're loading into Elementor, and I click on the hamburger menu here, but instead of going to site settings, we'll go to this section here called Theme Builder. And under Theme Builder, and again, this is part of Elementor Pro, so me personally, I do this a different way with my professional themes. But here we've got a main header builder, and we've got the main footer. Now, I've never used this before, but let's just see. Well, over here we've got header, so let's click on that on the left-hand side. This is good. And there's an edit button. That's what we want to do. We want to edit it. And let's see if we can't get... Well, first of all, I'll start to load up the color I want. There we go. Just copy that in preparation. And this is looking good. So here's a button, and all we want to do is, we can use our universal colors now, actually. We'll use the accent and the text color. We may as well tell it it's white. And then the hover color, we'll go with that darker green, and the text color can be white. Now, we've also got to edit this menu because the hover color is orange, and I would prefer that to be green. So under style, they've nominated the text color white. That's good. And then the text color here, we'll change that to the green and the green. And then the active color will go with the darker green. And we can see that in action when we hover over there. Now, there's also this section here. Note that's in the dark gray. And that's because we've got a responsive menu there for a different one for tablet or for mobile. So let's have a look at that. And yes, so we need to update that widget there. And click on style. Let's make sure that the text color or the icon color is white, and that the background color is green. And then for the hover color, we'll go for that darker green and nominate the text to be white, and just test that. That's good. And I'm not sure on mobile what colors they've got in there, but we can easily find out. Edit icon, nothing nominated, so we don't need to change anything there. And whether they've got something different for mobile, they haven't. Tablet and mobile is the same, so we'll just leave it like that and press update. All right, now let's go back a step. We'll go back to the theme builder now that we've updated that, and we'll just check on the footer and have a look at those colors in the footer. So footer, here we go. Sign up for our newsletter. Yeah, let's edit that. So this is on every page in the footer, and that's fine. I'm just wondering what it's going to look like when I put green on orange, whether that's going to be too much of just too much or not. I want to actually replace this whole form anyway, because we're updating to our Formidable forms, because we've got that licensed as part of our design club or maintenance contract. But regardless, I just want to check what this will look like if I change that button to a green. So here we go, the buttons, blah 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 blah. We'll go to style, sorry, for the buttons. And we do. Oh, I see. It hasn't taken. What we need to just do is put in the background color. Look, that green on that orange is a weird contrast. I'm just going to see, and we don't have. Oh, yes, we do have an option for a border. This might help. Yeah, that helps. When we put the white around, that does help, and that works. I'm going to be updating this anyway, like I said, but I just wanted to sort of preview what I'll be doing here. Now, these headings aren't interactive, but this button, My Account, is. So that is it's a heading, but it's a heading with a link attached to it. So just be aware of that. So we'll go, the text color, we'll make that green and update that. And now that's all done as well. Good, we're making good progress. So I've pressed update, so I can just go from my shortcut by deleting all of this and just press return and go to the home page again and review what we've done so far. All right, so we've updated all the colors there for green. That's great. We know that that's fixed up. I don't want to empty my browser cache. Let's just preview it in my other browser. We don't need to inspect the code anymore because I've already worked it out. And you can see that the active color is green there, which I like because it's less dominant now than these call to action ones. And I don't mind that these aren't green. Okay, they can be green if the client asks me to make these green instead of white. That's cool, but because it's a header, people understand that that header is navigation anyway. But look, we could make that button green here too instead of white. Yes, we could. And and we've got to update that button, that Learn More button. But other than that, we're really, there we go. We've got to go back into that footer. In fact, all of these interactive things, I think that should be green because that wasn't even clear to me when I was editing it. It was like, oh, this is just a. But of course, now I think about it, of course they're interactive. They're menus in the footer. So we better just go back and edit that one more time. Apologies, but now you'll get to reiterate that we have to edit this with Elementor to be able to get into those site settings. To change things like global color, and in this case, changing the footer and the header. So again, we'll go back to that theme builder, and we'll go to the main footer, and we'll edit that. All right, so all roads lead to Rome. I could have done it through the left and right. By the way, I've never used this before. It's just, I'm pretty familiar with Elementor, as you know, and you know, once you've used a few themes, it really starts becoming rinse and repeat. Okay, so what this is, it's a menu. We can see that widget is a navigation menu. We click on the style to change the text color. We'll change that to green. We'll change the hover color to dark green, and active won't matter so much. No one's going to be really looking at that. We'll just keep that on dark green as well. And we'll do that with all of the style things. So again, just rinse and repeat. Normal color is light green. Hover color is dark green. Hover text color is dark green. They didn't even assign a color for that. Well, that's because once you clicked on it, you're going to be on another page anyway, right? All right, so that's all that done. And again, that that really shows us now that the green colors are things that we click on, and I think that really helps the user understand that. All right, so we'll go back to our other browser and refresh the page. Maybe we should make the menu green. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. This page doesn't have a footer on it, interestingly enough. The About Me page, that's got the footer on it. And yeah, that looks all right. I mean, it's a bit more. It's a little less consistent in terms of color, because these are such contrasting colors, this orange and the green. But that was actually part of the original person's design, not mine. I might have looked for another color, but it's actually part of the logo as well. But having said that, the green is just like a little highlight dash. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Well, there's green in the background here of the photo, so that's helpful. Yeah, look, I quite like it, and look, now we've gone through this process. It's always easy to go back and change now, because now we've got a roadmap of, because I was new to this website, so obviously I had to discover myself where those colors are. But if you're building a website from scratch, you know where the colors are because you built it, right? Anyway. So now we've just got to go through page by page and update the certain elements that aren't there as part of the global style. So let's just do that. Actually, this is on the main footer section. This part isn't part of the website. We've got to click to About Me. And it's interesting that they don't have a home page in the menu. Like, you kind of would in case someone wanted to go back to the home. They may not know that when you click on the logo, that takes you to the home page. But whether or not we need that. And I note too that if I go back to the other browser and refresh that, I note that the buttons, well, that one's still solid. Oh, actually, we'll go back to the home page. Those buttons still haven't gone into that thicker font. So again, we could do that manually. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I've gone a bit over budget on this job, but that's okay. It also serves as training for everyone else. But let's just do the really important things that are necessary now and just go through page by page and make sure there's no real important buttons that aren't green. Okay, so that page looks fine. Services. We have to update one button here on services. Sorry, I'll go back to the browser that I am logged into, and we need to go to services, and we'll edit this page with Elementor, and we'll just see how this is built. It'll be interesting to see what widgets in use for these services panels. So we'll click on this one. It's a price table, okay? So it's a pricing table. So we click on style. We go down to, there's pricing, features, footer, and ribbon. Not sure what they mean. I'm guessing that the footer is the Learn More button. And we'll press on that. Yes, it is. Great. And then the hover color, the darker green, and update. Now, I don't know why you would have different colors for the Learn More buttons there. Maybe the designer was thinking, oh, well, this is the one that we want to call their eye to the most, the larger package. But I don't think that's right. I think we really need to have all the interactive colors the same. That's my belief. So we'll just update that there. And the hover button, again, same deal. And then click on this widget, click on style, click on footer, click on color, the light green, and the hover color, the dark green. And I think that makes more sense. I mean, I don't know why this is sold out anyway. This is apparently the best value, and this is one-to-one personal training. Now that's fine to be in orange because we can't click on it. Okay, and I like that orange color. The orange color works for me, but it's just we've chosen that not to be the interactive color. We could always turn it around and we could make orange the interactive color and just use green or some other color to spice up the things that are not interactive. But I think I've hammered that point enough now, and you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, creating the color palette, that's what you do initially when you start the job. And look, I guess because we're talking about colors and you understand hex colors now, I'll just show you. There's a lot of things on the website. If you look up hex complementary color, I often use tools like this when I first start designing. And look at all these tools here. You can see I've clicked on them because of this color. That means I've visited here before. So let me just show you some of these to show you what I'm talking about when you're working out a branding color scheme. It says here, pick your base color. Okay, so this is just one of many, many, many tools. So we'll put in that green color, for instance, right? Or we should have probably put in the orange to really work it out for that customer. But anyway, they'll watch this video, I'm sure, because they're interested in what I'm doing here. And get color scheme. No, I don't like that. Oh, yes, I do. Here we go. So there we go. It's showing us different color schemes based on triadic, tetradic, analogous, monochromatic, and complementary. And okay, let's just do this the right way one more time. Because the client's going to be watching this, and I know they're kind of interested in what I'm hammering on about with colors here, because they were interested when I brought that to their attention about the complementary colors. So I need to find that orange color very quickly, and let's try and hit two birds with the one stone. That's looking good now. I don't need to update that. This, I don't think I need to update this. Sorry, I'm going backwards and forwards, I know. But I'll go back to the other browser and just see. Look, if I just refreshed my cache, I'd be able to see it the same way, but I don't want to. I'm logged out of everything. This does actually need updating. Because it's been manually applied, this color here. And so I do need to update that to the green. So that's good. I'll show you why that's good, okay? So we go to our location and we edit this with Elementor because I need to update that Book Now button. But while I'm doing that, I'll just show you, because I'm interested too, what the real scientific complementary colors are for this orange. Okay, so here's the orange. We click on there and we grab that hex color for that orange. All right. Now we come back here to this color tool and put this into our color tool. And let's have a look what this color tool says is. Okay, so that's interesting. More of a cyany color than the green. I was feeling that green was maybe a little bit harsh. Then shades of orange, obviously. More shades of orange and all the reds, all those autumn and summer. These are more summer colors, aren't they? Analogous. Okay, so there's that bright green. I still think that's too much, and that blue I feel is too much as well. These colors are a bit psychotic. Not a huge fan of them. Look, if we were going to go any other way, I'd go with this cyan color, and I like this color too as a complementary to that orange. Now let's just go, and that's the same color there. So let's take this one step further and go, okay, well, we know that color looks cool. So scientifically, what are the complementary colors of that? It's the orange because it's in reverse. But then there's this deeper hue, which I also like. And Yeah, so we're kind of looking at more cyan. Okay, so let's go back to this one. We'll grab this orange and we'll see what other tools say about this. Enter any color value. All right, there we go. And convert, generate color palettes and get information. Blend, subtract, or create. Convert, generate, and get any color information. This tool, I'm not finding that user friendly. Gradient, oh, here we go. Gradient generator, color blender. Sorry, the phone's ringing. I have to put this on pause. Okay, this is an interesting color palette. It went for the orange, but went with the grays, which does make sense because this is just such a strong, vibrant color. But I don't feel any of those grays are suitable for an interactive color. I actually prefer the green, the existing green, especially because it's part of the logo. But it was worth looking at this. What else have we got? Have I still got that color? No, I've got to grab that color again, sorry. That orange color here. And we'll just have a look at some of the other, and there's so many tools on the internet, it's crazy. Here they've gone with the blue, and that's quite nice too. That's the complementary. There's the monochromatic, analogous, again, those summer colors, triadic, don't like them at all. Tetratic, look, it's either the green or the cyan, isn't it? And I tend to favor the green, especially because it's part of their existing logo. But once again, it was worth checking it out. So here, we'll put in our hex code. It won't let me paste it in. How does this work? Color picker. Where do we do it? Oh, I see. But it won't let me enter that. So, nah, I'm not happy camper with that one. Enter any color. Yes, that orange. And here we go. Color information. Rah. Schemes. There's some interesting, again, I like this one. This is a good website. I like how it splits it up into all of them. This is kind of cool. I mean, it's not cool. Sorry, wrong word. It's hot. Alternatives. Oh, I see. It's all on the one page anyway. We've got all our shades there. Color blindness simulator. That's cool as well. That feature is cool. You know what? Having reviewed all of that, I'm happy with what we've got, to be quite honest. So let's just finish the rest of this job now. Oh, sorry, I don't need that anymore because I put it into our global colors. What I need to do is edit this button and override it. So the text color needs to be white and the background color needs to be that green and the hover color needs to be dark green. Look, for the sake of completeness, I might as well put that in as white. And then that's done. And there's nothing else on that page that's interactive. So that part's done and we can update. And click on our hamburger menu and view the page. Let's see what we've got left now. There's just the contact us. I know there's other hidden pages inside this website. Oh, good. Look at this. It's updated and now we've got the proper font and everything. Hip, hip, hooray. But there's still that. I do not like the way that hover color is grey on orange. Let's fix that. But that looks like the last thing that we have to fix in terms of the main pages. All right. And like I say, the client will watch this video because they're interested in what I'm doing here. And now they know how easy it is to just click on to a widget, go to the style menu in Elementor, change that primary color. The secondary color is the icon, and the hover color. The primary color will be dark grey and the secondary color will leave that as white. And you can see that in action there. And now this isn't going into the hover color for some reason. So let's just edit that button. We can see that it's taken the normal color, but for some reason it hasn't picked up that hover color as dark green. Now, Facebook message, this is a tricky one. This could be green as well, but Facebook, that's their color. Facebook is blue. So I'm inclined to leave that. What we could do is just change the hover color for consistency and make that dark green, which I prefer, okay? But I think we'll leave that as blue simply because it's Facebook and people recognize that as Facebook. And so, yeah, it's all about the user experience, right? What they're used to, what they're familiar with, and how they would navigate around naturally without having to think too hard. Just intuitively knowing what to click on and what not to click on. And what are your thoughts? Should I update that icon as well? Well, I should update the hover color, shouldn't I? At the very least, I should. And what are your thoughts about the menu? Should I make them green as well? I'm starting to think I probably should, for consistency. And I love lime green on black. I just think it looks so cool. So, in fact, let's do it. Let's be so consistent here. We'll make this primary color the light green. We'll make the hover color the dark green. And then we'll go back into our site settings, into the theme builder. And what we'll do is we'll update the header, and we'll edit that. Oh, it's the reason why it's doing that is because we need to take a step back, and it's not letting us. It's not letting us. So we'll have to update that icon again. I should have pressed save before I went in here, but that's okay. It should have been saved, but that's okay. We'll just have to do it again. We'll press leave page, right? And we click edit. Oh, it's still not letting us do. Oh, sorry. You can't see the bouncy ball up there. There's the bouncy ball. We're waiting for the server. We're waiting for it to respond. That's why it didn't go in there. So it's being a little bit slow. This isn't my hosting, by the way. This is Crazy Domains hosting. Not a massive fan of Crazy Domains. I mean, it's good value for money, but there are better hosting services out there. So text color is main menu. Text color. We'll go with the light green, and the hover color. We'll go with the dark green and the dark green. And the active's already dark green. Pointer color, dark green. All right. And we'll update that. Now, hopefully we can get back to our Elementor screen. No, we can't. It's not letting us. So what we'll do here now is view the page, and that's actually going to take us to the header page. As see, we want to go back to that contact page. I quite like that green in the header. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So edit Elementor one more time. We'll just update that icon there, and then I feel we're done. Yeah, in terms of this lesson about color interactivity, we're done. So again, that primary color, the light green, the hover color, the darker green. And now we've got a website that's much more consistent for the interactive color. Whether this would have been nicer in that color we identified scientifically, that cyan, that's another question. Again, love to hear your thoughts on that. As I said to the client, the green's already in the logo, and we're familiar with green mean go with traffic signs and things like that, whereas in nature, orange and red is often a warning color. But orange and red is also a color for passion, and it's a color for hunger. And obviously that suits this brand very much because people that want to improve their health, they need to be passionate about that, to have that motivation to go to that next level. And that's why having a fitness instructor and a nutrition expert is what people use to get motivated to push themselves to that next level. I mean, all the celebrities use them, right? But everyone at boot camps and things like that, it's because, you know, left by yourself, you're just going to be, you know, you're going to go back to your old ways. But when you've got someone that's behind you every step of the way, training you in health and fitness, just like the way I train you in website design, that's what helps take you to the next level. So yes, so orange really is a really great color for Eye of the Tiger. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on color, branding, interactive color, what we've done here today. If you've got any more questions about anything we've covered or anything to do with WordPress, marketing, SEO, social media content, email newsletters, marketing funnels, you name it, reach out, ask the questions, and I will make you a personalized video.